Just can't keep me away from a microphone, can you? Well, thank you, Alan. Following that introduction by one of Lexington's most beloved citizens is really going to give me some real work to do. And it's really a big joy to be included in this Hall of Fame. Look at the people in this thing. And look, just imagine the joy I feel being included among some of you folks that just have accomplished so very much. You know, I've been trying to retire with some success over the last 5 years and have really genuinely unplugged from a lot of the stress and have had time to reflect and have some real fun and connect with my family. So I'd like to share a few of those thoughts and my reflections, and I'm going to keep it brief because I know it's late and I'm one of the last speakers, so I'm going to work fast tonight. An entrepreneur, in my view, is someone who takes a tremendous risk, but they're looking for a reward. They're looking for a prize. They expect something great to happen, whether it's money or a situation or a social entrepreneur that creates great things for the public, as opposed to like a gambler who they like to take big risks like entrepreneurs do, but they do it for the thrill of the risk. An entrepreneur does it because they have a vision. They want to get something done. There's something they believe in. There's passion to it. There's something behind it that drives them. For me, my vision was independence and a quality of life. It wasn't so much about making the money. It was a whole lot about being independent. It was a whole lot about working for and building the kind of company that I wanted to work for, that would attract people that I wanted to work with, that could go and do great things and work in an environment that was nurturing and fun. And a lot of us, many people in this room, have had the hardship of working for a company that wasn't like that. And I did. I just did not love the company I was working for. They taught me a lot and they gave me a great opportunity, but it just didn't have a culture that I knew was important to have, and I didn't have the independence I wanted. So rather than bore you with a lot of details about a 30-year career, I'm going to be real respectful of your time and just give you the things that I really have reflected on, that I've learned about what happened while I was doing it. When I look back with it, I understand that I was blessed with a lot of paradoxes. My first paradox was I graduated in the bottom 10% of my high school class of 1,000 people. Okay, and now my picture's on the Hall of Fame wall, in that wall, and I had the pleasure of having my daughter see it in that same high school where she was a student teacher. I also barely got through 2 years of college, and that was a real struggle to get through those 2 years of college. But I got to serve 8 years on the Board of Trustees for a really wonderful college in Georgetown. And then, paradox of paradoxes, we built and owned and operated 100 restaurants. But I was a major factor behind getting a smoke-free brand. Not because I hated smoking, because I'm a recovered smoker. Yeah, I'm one of those. The reason why that smoking ban was so important is the University of Kentucky brought me peer-reviewed evidence, which in my world turned out to be a very, very big deal, that showed me for sure it was making our employees sick. And if you don't want to smoke, you don't have to smoke, and that's okay with me, but making our employees sick and us making money and earning a living while our employees are getting sick was just not okay. So we went for the smoking ban. Those are the paradoxes I had to overcome, because every entrepreneur, every story we've heard, they've overcome hardships. Those were some of mine, but those paradoxes I was able to turn around and turn into benefits. So I want to leave you, because I promised I'm going to keep this brief, and I'm going to do it. I want to leave you with some thoughts that time has taught me that's really important, that I could love to share with you. And one of them you've heard a little bit about tonight already is surround yourself with people who are better at your job than you are. Because if they're not better at your job than you are, what do you need them for? Listen to them, respect them, and pay them. Make sure they stay with you, and make sure you give them that culture that you want. Always keep your eye on the numbers and always believe them. Every business person in the world whether it's a nonprofit or whether it's a for-profit, has to have metrics and numbers that they measure themselves by. And people do that, but very often we look at the numbers and say, oh, they'll get better in a minute. And we tell ourselves a story to self-soothe so we don't go crazy when we look at the numbers. Believe the numbers and take action on them. And then whatever your product is, whatever your vision is, whether it's an important medical device or whether it's chicken wings and hamburgers at Applebee's, don't let that vision become a commodity. I've watched entrepreneurs allow themselves to get commoditized. Think about Starbucks. Wasn't that like the coolest place in the world to go to a long time ago? Wasn't that the place we all wanted to go to meet? Well, now it's a drive-through, and you get really great beverage, and it's really great, but it's not a gathering place. It feels like it's a commodity now. Don't let anybody commoditize you. And probably one of the very, very most important things I want to share with you is the power of wow. The power of wow really energized Thomas and King and has energized almost everything I've ever done. Wow is that word that automatically comes out of your mouth when somebody delights you, right? Something really great happens, somebody exceeds your expectations, and what do? You go, wow. Well, I learned in the restaurant business that we had to wow our guests, and we had to wow our employees, and we had to wow each other. And wow is just going that extra little inch and giving somebody that just a little bit more than they expect. We had a policy at Applebee's that really helped get us over the top and differentiate us, is that in the beginning when Applebee's was not a commodity, we believed that if you didn't get your food in 14 minutes, it was going to be free. And we did that, and we had a budget for that, and very often we exceeded that, much to my unhappiness. But that budget kept us great. That budget kept us focused on we had better get that food out and make sure that our guest has a great experience. You know what that wow did for us? That wow taught us not only that the guest loves it and feels engaged because of it, but it made us put our food out faster. And we were able to do more business than we ever expected to do because we found ways to get the food out quicker so you could enjoy it. The wow was the energy that we built our company on. Giving more than people expect becomes a rebound, and people do it for you. And that energy turns around and makes a culture of your company really important. And that was part of the vision, was to have a company whose culture I could work in, that all our employees could work in, that was really nurturing. So just go wow them. Wow is the energy that drives our vision. Wow is the energy that allowed me to be here and be inducted into a great Hall of Fame with people I really, really admire and enjoy having my family here to see it, and in particular having my granddaughter, third generation, to sit here and see it. That is just a real heart warmer for me. So I'm going to part with this, and I hope I'm under my time limit, but I'm going to part with just one thought. Does anybody in here know what the expression JFDI means? Anybody familiar with it? Most people think, don't cringe, honey. Most people think it means just focus and do it. Okay? Just focus and do it. Keep that vision alive. Keep that wow alive. Keep that vision of why you started all this and took all this stress in the first place. Just focus and do it and keep the wow. Thank you very much for allowing me to be here tonight.